The Alpha Sessions.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Alpha Sessions with Lucy Wroe and Seven Spies.
Hello.
Welcome, aka David.
Well, there's only one of us.
And yeah, so Ollie was meant to be here, but he's not been able to make it.
No, he's got like a little one and an even
Right.
littler one, and their sleeping patterns are not conducive with life, apparently. Like,
I feel that. I mean, I can't relate, but I'm sure sure I'd love to have him in next time. Next time we come back in, we'll get the full
yeah,
band in.
definitely, because he'll want to sit there on his box.
Yeah. And we don't get a lot of bands in here, or duos. I had like a trio, I think, last month, but other than that, I always do single acoustic things, which you can't complain. And even today was a little bit different because you brought with you some nice pedals and a baritone guitar, which is...
It does sound nice when you're on your own. It's kind of like a safety blanket. It's like I'm covering all of the things.
Yeah, it gives you a nice sound, nice warmth. So you've released 2 singles, Seven Spies. First one was Chameleon. That was back in 2020, so it's been quite a break.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot to discuss here.
Yeah.
And then more recently, Lie, which I would like to talk to you about because that's your most recent single.
Yes.
So tell me, how has the last year been?
Last year's been chaos. Like, really, really has been chaos, because got the whole thing of like being a musician and then being an original musician. The two things do not go hand in hand. You know, being a musician gets in the way of being a musician. So funding being a musician, you have to take work on. So just that. But then in amongst that, got engaged and moved house.
Congrats.
And all these other things that like make it really hard to go,
Right.
oh, I'm supposed to like recorded like bass today, and that just didn't happen. I'll do it tomorrow, and then your boiler breaks, and then you're like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. So it took a while to get the song done, but so it was a chaotic year, but somehow managed to finish recording the song. Did the whole, I mean, we do everything off our own back, so we produce it, record it in-house. It's all done pretty much in the studio. So we moved house, and then I had to kind of like make the studio workable to record the song. So I was like, you record the vocals and you realise that all I can hear is a wooden wall behind me, and it doesn't sound particularly flattering. It's like, I'm going to have to hang a duvet on the wall because I don't have a vocal booth yet. You know, all those little things that you don't really think about when you're making music. But it kind of finished by getting booked into Abbey Road to go and have it mastered, which was a jolt from my fiance, who was just like, you're not going to get this finished, so for your birthday I have booked you in on this date, so you kind of need to have the song finished. And I was like, so that's pretty much a encapsulation of the chaos of the last year in a very small
It sounds like good chaos, because there are some years where bad things just keep rolling over and over and they get in the way. But it's interesting that you'd say music gets in the way. Well, being a musician and being an independent musician and artist, so is music your full time?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally all I've ever done since I was 7. So I've done it longer than that, because my dad's a professional cellist, and I grew up just thinking that's what you do. Like, you know, everybody plays music. I wandered around the house. I was like, oh yeah, so I'm going to pick up a violin that happens to be here and just copy what he's doing. Rubbish at both. And so, yeah, then they were like, do you want to join a choir? I joined a choir. Then somebody went, do you want to go on stage? So I ended up running around on stage and like, we'd like to pay you to do this. And I was like, sounds fantastic. You don't have to go to school. Even better. So yeah, I've just always wanted to do it. And I would find any excuse. Like in school, it's like someone's cancelled a guitar lesson. I will put myself down for that guitar lesson. Sounds far better than science. And yeah, so now I engineer as well, I produce, I teach. Like, if someone says, can you do this thing? And I go, yeah, I probably can. I'll say yes before the brain has even gone, should I do this thing? Right. And then it's like, okay, you're now committed to doing another thing. And then you realise that your own recording sessions are completely and utterly booked out with all the other things that have been taken on. So it just took a while. And now I'm trying to get a bit more focus on going, oh no, should really actually do this whole band thing that's been on the back burner for far too long. And then Ollie decided to have a baby, which really helped. So,
yeah, not very considerate of him.
No, I mean, like, how could he?
So before Seven Spies was created, were you releasing stuff independently? Were you writing independently and just sort of performing?
Yeah, so I mean, so me and Ollie have been in various guises of, I suppose, the same band forever. And we were going to release some stuff a few years back under a different band, and kind of went to throw it out into the world, and then life happened, and it kind of just went, I can't put myself into that right now because I've got to do other things. So then that got ignored. So then we just went, oh well, we'll just come back, we'll just get a new name and kind of just let's just go afresh, let's actually do this properly. And so we went, okay, we're ready. 2020, great year. And so we put our music out, and then for some reason everything slowed down. It's like, yeah, just a little blip.
Light.
Yeah, so
I feel that.
yeah, just a small inconvenience of that. So had that, got COVID, mangled my voice, couldn't sing properly for like 7-8 months, hence why one single out in 2020, next single out in 2023, in between having a year where I basically couldn't do anything worthy of putting out, you know, even if someone else was going, oh, it sounds good, I'm going, it just sounds like papered over cracks, and I can hear the cracks. And so that was like, oh, that's that year. And then mentioned house moving and all of those other things. So
Life things.
yeah, just life things. And it just, I didn't really sort of clock that it was 3 years. I was just like, oh, I'm ready now. Ooh, what happened?
But you know what, sometimes it does just take that time, and it's like, sometimes it's a good thing. It's kind of a blessing that it takes that long, because you do sort of look back at early versions of something, or you make a plan and you think, I'm going to release this song, and then when you get to that point you realise it hasn't happened, you're like, okay, maybe that's for the best. And then you listen back to it, you think, yeah, that wouldn't have been good out there. But Lie, very different story. Lie is a great tune. You played it for us today. I want to know more about what it's about to you, and what you want it to come across as to other people.
Oh, it's a weird one, because it was written years ago. It was written when I was a teenager.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's one of those things that when you write it and it's this guttural like and I'm like, I don't really know what I'm singing about. I vaguely kind of know that I'm getting this feeling out, but it feels a bit more than what the lyrics are. And then it became a little bit prophetic to how life is, of just sort of I mean, it's a bit like a broken love story, like it's, and not just in a like, oh, boy girl, boy girl girl, anywhere people meet kind of thing and fall in love and it doesn't work. It's kind of like that thing of, you only get this one shot at everything, but if you do everything, you do nothing, because it's kind of, but then trying to do everything, you know, sort of trying to become an independent artist or the biggest band in the world, whatever the goal is. And unless you, I think, just tunnel vision into that, it's a little bit like it doesn't allow that, and then you miss out on friends, or you miss out on that person, and you don't go to a party and you don't meet somebody, and you don't. So it's that, and there's no way I could have known that when I was writing it, but I was like, so this is my time, this is my lie. And it's kind of like, well, I'm trying to do this, but it's not, because I'm out and I should be playing a gig, or if I'm playing a gig then I'm not with that. And so it's that, the whole thing. It's like, you know, every lyric's got a little bit of a mini story in it of a moment that kind of had happened or did happen. And so the song went away, and then it came back, and then it went away again, and then it came back in COVID time, because it was one of the few songs I could sing that year. I could actually like, oh, I can actually sing this one. It comes out and it's easy enough to sing. It was ridiculous high note being put into it, but like you said, then it, because I'm just sitting there stuck on my own with no one else, so it wasn't kind of like a whole band of noise, and I just got to sit and take the time and go, oh no, it needs strings, and sit there and go do like intricate classical string arrangement that sits underneath it and just gets buried by guitars. So yeah, it became so much more than it ever was as a kid. I mean, I've got the original demo of it as a kid. I go, I'm so glad that I took my time with this, because it's not even comparable to where it is now.
Remove this. Please take it from my eyes. No, I cannot describe and be there to take the natural course while they all applaud. This is my time, this is my life. Oh, this is my time, this is my life. This is my way, don't leave tonight. Now leave me. Please will you walk away? There's nothing left to say. Now leave me. Please will you let me be? I thought I was happy. This is my time, this is my life. Oh no, this is my time, this is my life. This is my way, don't leave tonight. This is my time, this is my life. This is my way, don't leave Say that you noticed.
The Alpha Sessions.
I think the best ones stick with you, don't they? Because some people are very cutthroat about it, and they'll look at the stuff they did when they were younger and think, not going back to that because it's just not me anymore. But actually, if you take that, it's always kind of the same person. You're the same person inside, and you develop and evolve. But taking something from before and changing it into what you are now, and if it still applies, or you can still interpret it in that way.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's something a lot of people can relate to. It's a sentiment especially a lot of musicians can relate to. That guilt.
Yeah.
The social guilt.
Guilt, yeah. So it's social guilt, the kind of, it's that I'm just going to go to the studio in the evening because I'm very lucky, just like can have it up the bottom of the garden, so that's where I can make music. So and it's just like, I'll see you in 4 hours and just leave. My fiance just sat watching the TV. She's great when there's sort of like I'm a Celebrity or something on that she's completely into, because it's like, you're not going to notice that I'm not in the room for quite a while. I'm just going to go and like spend an hour deciding whether it's this distortion sound or this distortion sound and be a bit indulgent. But yeah, I also just, I don't like the idea of letting go of old songs anymore as well, because I think you get a reality check a few times, especially like doing the other bit of being a musician, teaching and stuff, is you teach great songs, and being a singing teacher as well, great vocalists. George Michael wrote Careless Whisper when he was 17. So I'm like going, okay, well that's pretty much as perfect as a pop song's going to get. with like one finger on a Casio keyboard of a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
So never precious about going, oh well, I did that and I must be better now. It's like, well, why? It's just like if I have a compulsion to sing that song, if there's a compulsion to make that bit of music, it doesn't matter when or where it came from. It's kind of like, well, it's there, it's in you, and I think that's the main thing. It's just like, I've got an emotion thing that I need to get out playing music. I think a lot of people who do anything creative, they do it for that. It's like, oh, I have to do this. You know, even if you don't know why, it's like, I have to do this. And it can come back at you like the same way grief or, you know, or a feeling like you all of a sudden you sit down and go, damn, I miss that person. You know, it's I guess that's this song. It's just like, it always comes back. So now it has a thing and it exists and it has its own little world, which is really nice.
Yeah. And the process of releasing this one, how was it compared to say Chameleon? Because there's a lot of time passed, a lot of different things happened, and releasing Lie must have felt more like composed or more organised, or was it always just?
Everything is always chaos.
Always chaos.
No matter how organised I am, chaos descends. Somehow I was like, why did this happen? Like, I was organised. Even coming in here today, I was like, oh, I've got a whole afternoon, I can prep the acoustic versions, it's just me, I know what I'm going to do. And then Fiance's makeup studio fell to pieces. And so we spent the entire day like rebuilding that and putting a table together that needed new legs and so I was just like, well, that's that day gone. So it doesn't matter how prepared I am, it's always carnage. I don't know how this happens. Like doing the string arrangement, we were down in Cornwall and she was working on a theatre show down at the Minack. So I just went, okay, well, we're in the car, we're going there, computer's coming with me, and I will record. And the keyboard got left at the door. I was like, we put the keyboard at the door to come into the car. Yet somehow the keyboard's in the car, so it's got been taken back into the house because someone's looked at it and gone, why is there a keyboard in the car? We're going to do a theatre thing. And I got there and had to write this string arrangement on my actual like XYZ keyboard, which was just a horrendous thing to do. I was just like, this is not musical in any way. I'm just going to draw the lines now. So yeah, chaos always descends. And,
brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the motto, then we'll go with that. String arrangement, I did see a video of the behind the scenes stuff, which is really cool. And do you think that's sort of a part of your upbringing?
Yeah.
You mentioned, so you've always had that kind of in there. Like, when you said you can't play them, the violins and the cellos and the stringed instruments of the world, but are they, when you write music, you hear that, you hear the arrangements, you need them to be in there.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up around the BBC Concert Orchestra as a kid. So, like, Friday night is music night used to be a big thing. So Friday nights would be from as long as from the age of being able to walk, I would just go sit under the audience balcony, right by the fish tank recording bit, just by this orchestra. I basically had conductor view of an entire fantastic professional orchestra. And so I just grew up with all that texture and the harmony and the intricate way it's put together, and incredible people like Stanley Black, who's a jazz guy, sort of contemporary of John Barry, and people like that, and Monty Norman, and he was just did the most incredible arrangements of like James Bond music and everything. So as I'm growing up as a kid watching these movies, and you come in and you're sort of like hearing them being played in front of you, and it's just like, oh my god, I love this, how we do this, and then chatting to these people. But it's just the way I hear music. I write a song and I'm playing it, even standing up playing the tracks, I'm hearing, oh, the drums are doing this, and then there's this string bit going on here, or oh, it should have a brass section chucked in here, or it's got to have some weird synths, or it should sound like, you know, the voice of Thor and Hans Zimmer, whatever it is. It's always like in my head whenever I hear anything, there's something else going on. I didn't realise that wasn't normal for a very long time. I thought that was,
for some people it is normal.
Yeah, but I was having a conversation with some friends who are actually really musical, but I was going, yeah, so I've just played this song pretty much on one note, because they were like, oh, you did this? And I was like, yeah. And they went, it's a bit basic, isn't it? And I was like, yeah, but it's got the drums and the so you can hear it. You can hear where it's going, right?
Yeah.
And they went, no.
Yeah.
Not. I was like, wait. So when you listen to like an acoustic performance of something, you don't kind of like fill in the gaps like in your head. Just imagine like this. No, that's not a thing. And I was like, how do you cope? I was like, it was just like generally this moment of going like, I don't get how you.
Tragedy.
Yeah, I'm like, how can you live in a world where sound isn't like the coolest thing around you? And you can turn like the sound of an MRI machine into like an incredible piece of music, which is fairly necessary when you're in there for 45 minutes. But
What we're saying is, anyone watching these acoustic performances at home, we are counting on you to fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then it's hell to pay.
yeah, I mean, like you can send me a message and ask what you should be like.
Yeah, describe.
Yeah, what are the instruments that I should be thinking of whilst listening to your acoustic performance?
We'll put time codes in there. So there's a cymbal hit here and
Yeah.
there's a violin.
I'll try and get emojis as well and send them back. So
that
sort of like,
works,
yeah.
We'll form a code.
Yeah.
We'll form an orchestral code. Now, so that's Lie. That sort of has that kind of. It's very Royal Blood-esque. It makes me think of Royal Blood.
That makes sense.
And Muse, I know. And I did see an article that you were talking about Muse being a sort of influence. But who else would you say is influencing the way you write?
Freddie Mercury, always. Like
Powerhouse.
just that showmanship of just like and scale of it. Like it's always there. Like even when I'm not sort of sitting in a room myself pretending to do a really bad Freddie style delivery. There's so many. I mean you don't hear them, but like I just mentioned James Bond music, there are so many like Bond nods to everything I write. Like there'll just be a little phrase where I'm just like, oh yeah, I kind of can see where that grew from. Nothing But Thieves is another band that I've been completely and utterly obsessed with recently. But there's just too many. It's just, honestly, I'll just go on forever because it depends on the song and like I'm dragged by that or the other. Yeah. But
when at the time you were writing Chameleon, and this is a while to think back to, but was there somebody you were listening to at the time that could you go through phases when you're writing and you're listening to someone really intently? Or
yeah, I mean, I really, if I hear like if I hear a new song that I really like, I will like delve head first into that and just hopefully it's an album with it, and I will just like consume that album until it becomes part of me. And then every now and then it'll be like, oh, there's an old one that I go back to. But Chameleon's hilarious because nobody ever sort of clocks where the jumping off point was from sort of like, oh, I listened to a thing and then I wrote Chameleon, because Paolo Nutini and Chameleon are not in the same realm. But it was I think it was like around about time of his Iron Sky album.
Caustic Love.
Is it like
Caustic Love, I think.
Yeah, and there's I think it was like the lead single off there. See, and I can't even
Scream, Funk My Life Up. Was that the same one?
Funk My Life Up. I think like Funk My Life Up. Just that
really
general
cool
kind of like groove kind
really
of feeling thing. I'd been listening to that in the car, and I just came home and I was just like, I need to pick up a guitar. And from that, by the time I put the guitar down, the Chameleon was done in about 15 minutes. I couldn't play it and sing it at the same time because like my fingers, the vocal, nothing hits the one. It's really, really awkward. And we came into rehearsal and I was like, okay, so it's got this vocal line. Ollie's trying to drum and sing it. He's going, nah. And Sam's on bass. He's going, nah. And I'm all right, okay, right. I'm not going to I'm just going to sing this until one of us can actually get that first bit. Now I don't even think about it. But at the time it was like, well, this was a really stupid idea, wasn't it?
It's a jumbled mess, and I'd like to say that I'm not confused. Okay. Can I trust myself? Well, I might as well, since I've become used to the abuse. Now you say that it's not your fault when you are letting go, giving in to your split personality. Yeah, for a minute there I had lost my head. Trust me, none of you are ever gonna see the real me. All those voices in my sleep form a dangerous make-believe. Now if I hear them right and understand what they are saying, I don't like the rules you're making. You're not gonna get control of me. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. No, it is now my fault. Now I am letting go. 'Cause when you wrap yourself around, I cannot breathe. Like a chameleon, always fitting in. Trust me, none of you are ever gonna see. All those voices in my sleep form a dangerous make-believe. Now if I hear them right and understand what they are saying, I don't like the rules you're making. You're not gonna get control of me.
The Alpha Sessions.
So you only write alone. So you're with the band, but is it always like you bring the song to the table, you all learn it together?
It's pretty. Yeah, I churn out songs for a band that only has 2 releases and 115 unfinished songs. That gives you the ratio of like productivity that's going on here. But I just write. It's a compulsion thing. Like I said earlier, it's like it'll grab me. All of a sudden it's like I need to pick up guitar, or I will be doing something else, and then I'll just start playing and something will appear, and then it's either fully formed idea or a half formed idea, and then I'll run away from the guitar, sit in the car or in the kitchen, and I'm like, right, I'm now free of my limitations, be it a piano or whatever else, and it's just me, my imagination and my voice. And then that kind of fills into that, oh well, I hear everything, so I'll just be in a room and there are voice notes of me just mumbling. I mean, I've got just hundreds of voice notes of me sort of going, and I'll listen to that again. Oh, I know exactly what it is, and then the next voice note is a fully formed thing. So it's that's how the songs are kind of done. It's like, I like this one, then I'll come, usually it's like me and Ollie getting together, I'll be like, do you like this one? And he'll be like, I really like this one. And sometimes he'll be like, I'm not so keen on this one. And I'm like, oh no, because I really like this one. It's like, I'll still play it, but like the other one's better. I'm like, no, it's not. And then we have that kind of thing. But but luckily the 2 of us, I mean, that's my kind of thing, is he drums to a glove with what I've done, because we've done it since we were teenagers. So it's kind of, even when he's overplaying, it still fits. And it's just like, can you just like not? But
but at least you've got that dynamic. I think that's the beauty of it. It's always that if you have the right balance, and that's why you can just keep going for years and years. And it doesn't matter really if you reform the band, you become another band, because it's just like you enjoy playing together. And if it works, then you just naturally have that bond.
I mean, that's how this band is. There's people go in, out. Like the videos are done by a guy called Torrin Westcott, who has played bass for us in and out
cool.
so many times. And then we have this relationship of like going, I did a song, I need a video, are you free? No, I'm not free, you know I'm not, but just get a date. And then he somehow gets out of editing and comes and does like the video, and then the favour is repaid. Currently he's doing his Christmas treat for the world, does this awesome video thing of multiple torrents that is like posted in amongst friends and family, so I'm doing all the mixing for that. So that's how the band works. It's just like people that creatively can just get in a room and have fun.
And that video, I've seen that video, the Chameleon one, it's very cool. It's very cool. I think videos are very hard to put together, but is that something that you find easy as well? Are you the mastermind of the creative?
I tend to have a ridiculous idea, and then and then Torrin will just be like, the following things are possibly not feasible, but both the videos, the Chameleon video and the live video, were both, I said, chaos. So Chameleon video was, okay, lockdown's been announced, we don't have a video, this song is out, we have to shoot it tomorrow. Found a studio, found a fluorescent light that was for a club. So when we were all changing colour for that one, it was like we were purple. I was like, no, we're supposed to be fluorescent chameleons. This is going to be a lot of editing in post. And we shot that video. Didn't know at the time I had COVID. So I was horrendously ill going into it and like going, am I? And then it just turned out, oh yeah, no, you have. So that and it was all shot in one thing and then thrown over to me, and it's like, okay, you have the two of you in a room playing, and then live was even more chaotic. We just got a space and I printed all the lyrics off and just turned up with a load of stuff and just went, okay, we have this studio space that looks pretty cool, let's just do something that gets the of this song out. And it was two men in a room for 6 hours making stuff up and then getting bailed out by a drummer friend, and one of my students turned up for bass and they just came and were the band. I was like, can you guys come and fill in, because I have like a I can't remember, is it a pregnant drummer or like just newly babied drummer at the time. Like, obviously collectively he wasn't giving birth, but so Ollie couldn't make it to the video shoot either. So Alfie's in the video, who's been helping us out live when Ollie's not been able to be around, and so it was chaos. It really was.
But
and
the
result came out great. Once I finally found the whole kind of like Sin City overly stylized thing, it no longer looked like this shoot of, we had no idea what we were doing with an out of tune piano and me lying on the floor with like paper all strewn around me going, I just watched the rushes of this and I was like, oh, what have I done?
But of course, so after that just happened, the lockdown just took over everything. So how did your live stuff go after that? Because obviously everybody had to stop playing live. And this kind of music as well, it just comes off really well in a live environment. I feel like you connect with an audience a lot with this kind of music. So what kind of gigs have you been playing the last couple of years?
Not enough. But I mean, yeah, once everything opened up again, just trying to play live as much as possible. And we've had some great random gigs. There was awesome one that we played out in High Wycombe, and just I think it was this young band. It was like their first ever gig, so it was like 150 capacity venue. There was like at least 250 people in there. It was bonkers. It was just absolutely and utterly packed, and they all became completely obsessed with us. And I was just like, this is a really nice way to make fans. If only it was like this every gig you play. So, yeah, the gigs have been really great fun. Obviously, trying to gig through lockdown and trying to get anything, like doing acoustic versions of these songs didn't make sense. And I tried to do like everybody did, stream stuff, but my voice was shot anyway. So I was struggling to do anything, especially in that kind of environment where it's you, a mic, a bedroom, and it's completely unforgiving. So every single kind of like failure that you have is just like, this isn't going to work, I can't put that out. So I got to the point of going, well, screw it, if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to build a band. So I had the drum sampler and everything, and it was just in a room making a band with a little picture of Ollie behind me on the drums, just hitting things and playing live. And I was like, well, that's my setup from home. That's quite cool. And then just missed being out and playing. But next year, hopefully, we'll have far more shows. There's at least 3 song releases for next year coming and stuff. So yeah, and then should be actually playing regularly, and having far more time to be that kind of musician and do that.
Yeah, because it's just another layer, isn't it, of promoting yourself. There's already so many little milestones to hit, and then you get a gig coming up, and just getting the gig in the first place is a long road, and then you've suddenly got to be posting about it and getting everyone to come to it. Have you got anything booked in that we can look forward to?
There is something in January, but it's not been confirmed yet. I'm hoping that there was sort of mention of something in like a week or so in December, but I'm waiting to hear on whether that's happening or not, because it was one of those, can you play this date? I was like, I think so. And then you wait 5 days to hear whether the date is actually a thing or not. But no, trying to put on actually a show, like you said, just promote and get people, because I got bugged by my immediate fan base, of which a lot is sort of students and stuff who really, I mean, they are a massive driving force behind this music coming out, because they get annoyed at me. I've sat in a lesson and had this actual conversation where they've looked at me and they've gone, look, I will ask my parents to pay you to not turn up for 4 weeks if you just finish making your music so I can listen to it, because I have got like recordings of our lessons where I want to learn your songs. Can you please just finish it, because I really like your music? And so that's that's so lovely, because they genuinely really like it, and then their families like it. So it doesn't matter whether it's 10 people or 10 million people that love your music. When you have someone who's genuinely going, I'll do anything to help you get this music into the world, because I just want to listen to it. And then when it comes out, you get your little Spotify things. You can actually sort of work out going, oh, I've just had 47 streams in Barnet. Wonder where they've come from. That kind of thing. Yeah. So,
it's good motivation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good to get you out there. Now, the third song you played, the third and final, is an unreleased one. Is this a prospective release for next year?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a prospective release. Trying to decide when and where to throw songs in an order out into the world is hard. Yeah. And then you have that horrible thing on your shoulder of going like, oh, well, I quite like people to hear my music, so what kind of song should I release? Because radio stations play certain types of things or certain things, and then I normally get to the stage of having that train of thought for about an hour, and then I go, no, I just want to release music that I like releasing, but I have no idea which one is coming next, but I do know that Freaks will appear at some point. It has another giant string arrangement which was recorded on the same day as live, which is just sitting there and has not been touched since, because I'm like, yeah, it's fine, it sounds great, there's actually not much that needs doing to it, but I should really finish the rest of the song now. So it will appear, but it's a really nice fun song to play, and also it's a bit of a challenge as well to make a little acoustic version of it, because it really isn't. I mean, there's like piano and Celeste, and it's quite a scaled song and a big nonsense kind of guitar noisy thing in the middle. I'd say a guitar solo is very much not a traditional guitar solo. Shredding is not my thing. So I was like, oh yeah, if I could make like a little version of this, that'd be quite cool. Just set myself a challenge.
Well, as soon as the full version comes out, send it our way.
I will be doing.
I'll get it on our playlist. Seven Spies, aka David, and Absent Ollie, Ghost Ollie. Thanks for coming in and chatting to us, and we'd love to have you back in again.
Definitely will come back in again. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Now take me to where I was before. Do it quickly, 'cause I can't stand it here no more. I've forgotten who I was before. Now I need them now, more than ever before. So I'll drink till it's gone. I know it's gonna take far too long. Then I'm gonna hide till I'm wrong. Then I'll come out fighting harder than ever before. 'Cause we're the freaks and we're the weirdos. Trust me, we're your only heroes. Just you wait to see what we can do. Now we are all our final chances. Don't push us, we'll push back harder. Just you wait, we've nothing left to lose. Now we're the freaks and we're the weirdos. We're not like you. Now take me home through that moonlit door where I can be left alone as I was before. To drink till it's gone. I know it's gonna take far too long. Then I'm gonna hide till I'm raw. Then I'll come out fighting harder than ever before. 'Cause we're the freaks and